as I was saying, the interesting thing about Marvin, as we'll call him, is that he's from Georgia. I spent a few years in Georgia, and that's where I fell in love at first with Priscilla in Savannah. Can't tell you her last name either. Now, we were talking about racism and what I've suffered at the hands of other blacks, at the hands of the New York City administration, which I allege is a fascist administration of the Michael R. Bloomberg administration for 12 years, who should have been in jail for antitrust violations. He should have been in jail for a lot of things, covered up a Nazi copycat crime. He should have been prosecuted. Nobody's prosecuted him until me. Now I'm sitting here talking to the gentleman who came to buy this house, come and take measurements, doing this planning and preparing and all that. And he was telling me some stories about being black in America and being from down south, to where he has eyewitness actual lynching. Look, man, I'm a French green card guy, man. I talk all this stuff, and I say, I don't mess with black women, and I spewing all this crap. Look, man, if I didn't love being black and I didn't love black people, I wouldn't be fighting for your black asses, okay? And it's you morons and idiots that piss me off because you got all the freaking opportunities in the world here in America, man. But you know what? This is a Georgia boy who's got a story to tell, and I had to get the story. Now, there's some bad things I don't think he want to say on camera about what people done did, what white people did to black people down south in America. But them old rednecks and all that, that's a story we're going to tell, because y'all ain't living that. Because a lot of y'all that's going to see this show, that's in the offices of black elected officials, I learned a new word. Y'all house niggas. Damn. I learned a new word. And I learned that word yesterday. I met Marvin today, so I'm going to ask Marvin to help me understand. Give me some depth and breadth to what is a house nigga and what is a field nigga. Because the house niggas are the niggas in the political offices of black elected officials. And the field niggas are these niggas out here that they send after me. And the other ones that are not getting paid to do shit, those are the ones that'll pat me on the back. Now, ain't too many people gave me shit other than some veterans. And this is another one. Let me introduce you to Mr. Slate. How you doing there, brother?
I'm okay.
All right. Now, we just met this morning. You came to see the house. You like the house. You buying the house and all that. Then, since I ain't got no personal interest in no money, selling or buying or nothing, I'm just some freaking homeless stooge living in here to protect it for both of y'all. You're the buyer and the seller. Now, we got to talking because we both vets and we chilling. Tell me about them stories, them horror stories about being black down south, and your uncle, that veteran that was in World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. You ought to put his name on camera, man. Plant him into history.
My uncle's name is Perry Walker Sr., which he came from a generation. He goes by the name of Perry Walker Jr. He passed away at 81 years old. He was from South Carolina. He left South Carolina because, turn around, the stories we used to sit there and tell of how blacks got lynched. Little black boys got lynched. Otherwise, the name used to call was nigger. Back in the days of the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, as the story used to tell me. When you sit there and you see where black came from and where they're trying to go to now, is that when you sit there and you see a white girl, you don't whistle at her, you don't yell at her, you don't say nothing to her. Now you got the days where you can sit there and walk around the white girl, but only up here. But you go back to the south, it's a different story. So you get away with it up here, but you can't get away with it in the south.
You mean to tell me right now I can't go down south with a white woman?
Oh no, you cannot.
What?
No, you cannot.
This is 2012, January 10th, 2012.
Don't matter. Because you sit there, they're looking at you, you still black.
So you mean to tell me if I walk up in the mall down in Atlanta with a white girl on my arm, I'm hugging and kissing her, we all having fun like we do out here. If I get to my car, chances are something's going to happen to me?
They will sit there, either they will sit there, you won't know it, But one way or another, you got a nice car, you got a white woman on your arm, turn around, down south, it's still the South. South is always going to be the South. North is going to be they left the South to come to the North to get away from racism, get away from the lynching and the black males back in the day they used to say the stories, or had my uncle tell, used to cut your balls off and sit there, and they used to iron them. Otherwise, they sit there, and then when they're finished with you, they sit and put you in the tree. You always hang like this in the tree until you're dead. Then turn around, sometime they'll burn you on the cross. So South Carolina and Georgia is basically about the same. Only thing, Georgia, they burn you on the cross. Okay? They sometimes will sit there and throw bombs in your house and sit there and will burn your house. These are the stories. Sometimes they'll sit there, they even will get to the point of, which is Stone Mountain, Georgia. My family live right around, and I got some of my family live right there in Stone Mountain, Georgia, but they don't understand the history of where Stone Mountain came from. Stone Mountain is Stone Mountain where KK always had their annual meetings, and they think that.
Oh, the Bohemian Grove. That's the Bohemian Grove story.
Yes. So, knowing when you're living in Stone Mountain, Georgia, you got to understand what Stone Mountain stands for. That way the Grand Wizard and all of them had their meetings, and that's where blacks and everything used to sit there and get hung,
because that's part of the ceremony. Just lynch you a nigga.
Yes.
And to start to kick it off, kick off the freaking part.
Yes. So now they left the hoods alone, and now they're in suits. So,
and guess what? What if I told you that in fact we got a congressman that covered up a Hangsman's noose in a VA facility? You're another veteran. What's your feeling on that?
Well, the feelings on that, you know, they're going to happen, and it's always going to happen, and you can't really change it, because you try to change it, they're going to push it back on you. And saying that, well, why are you sitting there being the whistleblower? Or why are you sitting there doing this? Just leave well enough alone. It's not your concern, so back off. So that's why when they referred me to when the Congressman's Office Special Assistant, this Indian woman, Native American, when she sent me to VA and said all those things about me, would it surprise you that's the reason why they gave me a bunch of medication that was supposed to melt my freaking brain? Yes, you know, that's the way it is. Otherwise, shut you up. Because no one in America want to know the truth of what goes on, how America became America. But all I did was save this old lady's life that they left in a freaking apartment with the gas stove on for 4 freaking hours, and Negroes wouldn't get up and call the freaking police. Well, you're one in a million, because turn around, not everybody's gonna do that. They'll sit there and say, "Why aren't you helping?" Leave one alone. Because the people put somebody in power over there, and that woman went around digging all in these people's business, found out that this old woman had some money, and took the old lady to the bank, had her sign her name on a piece of paper, and then she went in and took $20,858 out that old woman's bank account. You can't do that shit. But it happens every day. This is America. America was built on greed and power and corruption. You can't stop what's already there, that's been there, because if you try to stop it and you try to change it, you're gonna be another one in a million that sit there and find yourself absent from the picture. This is America. Absent from the picture. Damn, don't you know? What if I told you the comptroller of New York City gave me a $2 million claim against the district attorney's office for $1 million and the NYPD $1 million in a snatch and grab to a death kill hit? They put a freaking ambush in the library for me, had undercover cops playing homeless, because I'm playing homeless, fighting for homeless people and all this shit on the wrongful eviction processes of the board. They're railroad Negroes, man. They're railroad Negroes over here is what I'm saying. And I took that to black elected officials, every single one of them, from Councilman Connery, New York State Senator Huntley, New York State Senator Malcolm Smith, Assemblywoman Vivian Cook, Congressman Gregory W. Meeks, and them black nigger traitors to their fucking race pissed me off, and I sued their ass, man. And I'm about to serve them motherfuckers. Well, It's like I said, it's once in a million, because everybody's gonna turn the other cheek. They're not gonna sit there and say, okay, I seen what I seen.
Oh, I ain't turning no other cheek. I ain't that kind of Christian now.
See, that's once in a million. Once in a million. Because everybody's gonna sit there and say, okay, grease my palm and turn my cheek. It's all about politics. Politics is a dirty game. This is America. Politics is a dirty game. You can't control it. You can't sit there and change it. It's always going to be there. It's like going back to the South. You sit there, you say something, they lynch you back then. You say something up here, they sit there and they get rid of you.
They do it for political lynching. It's another kind of lynching.
Another kind of lynching.
And that's what they did to me, bruh. Took $100,000 for shit out of my house by the city taking me to court and telling the judge that I'm fucking crazy, and I ain't nothing crazy. I'm a pissed off motherfucker, and I'm kind of bright, and I will do some fucked up shit to motherfuckers.
So it's like, say or don't say. If you say something, then you look for repercussions. If you don't say something, then it's like just turn the other cheek and say, well, I'm not gonna do nothing. But then if you do something, you help somebody, they always the first word they ask you, why are you doing it?
I don't know that. I'm a fucking Haitian man. I just speak English like this. I speak at least reading right.
Then now they question you like, okay, you came to this country. We could have sit there and said, okay, throw your visa away. I'm
related to 3 former presidents of my country. I'm a political exile here. I'm not here for economic reasons. We wasn't poor. I owned me a fucking person, I swear to God. They gave it to me. I was 9 years old. So when I went down south, and I was living down south in the 70s and stuff, man, and I felt racism down there because there was a guy that refused to go in the laundromat because there was a white woman in it.
You can't go in the laundromat. There was water fountains that way say black and white. The bathrooms say black and white.
Oh man, I can't live like that. I'm fucking these niggas up here.
So taking a person that was born in New York, up north, as they want to call it, and sitting there taking that back to the south, back into the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s.
He dead nigga.
You couldn't live like that. You couldn't live with it because the first thing you're gonna say, I'm tired of this. I can't do that. But then you sit there, you say the wrong thing. You either get shot at, or you sit there, you get hanged. So you got 2 choices: zip your mouth, shut the hell up, because you're gonna be called a nigga. So what most of us do, we leave from the south, we come to the north, and have it better.
These are country niggas from down south up here in the office of these political motherfuckers that are a bunch of pieces of shit that acting like they're some bunch of uppity niggas, poor ass piece of shit motherfuckers. I was born rich.
And they will turn the other cheek. This don't say nothing.
How the fuck you mean to tell me nigga come from country ass down fucking south ain't got fucking shit? You get up that high up here in America up north and you won't help your fucking people?
No you won't. No you won't. Because it's all about politics.
Politics? I don't understand that shit.
Politics is a dirty game. Somebody got to turn the other cheek and say they don't see certain things because it's all about taking care of number one. You take care of number one and you take care of yourself. And if you don't sit there and take care of number one, then you might as well say goodbye. Take everything that you own, everything, and you're gone.
That's why they took everything from me. Them niggas did a fucking political lynching on my ass, and it was every black elected official in town. And this where we end the first version, Marvin. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Part 1. Bye-bye.